So it's in the suburban areas, it's very, a lot slower. Life seems more kicked back, and a lot of the people are just like, oh, no worries, just kind of go with the flow a bit. But if you've ever been to California, that's how it looks, is that you're walking down California. It's just so green. In the summer, in the spring, it starts to feel really warm and humid. In the summer is where it starts to feel a little bit like Arizona. But then, it's just so lush and beautiful. But it also can be very cold in the winter, where it was hard for me that it just was humid cold. And it felt a lot like being in Arkansas or Mississippi during the winter time. You could just feel it seep through your clothes, like nothing you were wearing was enough. But for the most part, weather was great, and the people were great. You had the Turkish people, you had lots of Chinese, lots of Koreans. There was a lot of Polynesians, more than I thought would be there. Actually, I was surprised as a Polynesian myself to have been surrounded by so many that lived in Australia. But for the most part, it was actually a really good living area. I didn't feel like I was in Australia sometimes. I just felt like I was in the USA. I would say that Australia is a very safe place. They don't have like any gun laws. They're like not allowed there. But even just the crime rate in general, it's very safe. Everybody's really loving. I think it's more towards the city that you get people who are fast-paced and don't want to talk to you. But it's really good with, with transportation. We have a bus that will come for about, every 10 minutes. When you get to the city, it's every 5. And then the trains are very, quick pace. There's a train, every 5 minutes when we were serving in the city. Towards the outskirts, it's maybe every 30 minutes, every hour. But the people, just in general, going across those areas, as I notice that as the transportation, as the life, the cost of living just starts to boost higher and higher, it just seems that the people go that route too. And I wouldn't say they're mean, but it's just they're kind of there's like a little business scene everywhere, that the closer you get to the city, it'll just feel a lot business-like rather than homely. This is just a little bit of advice if you're coming to the Australia-Sydney North Mission. Don't expect to see kangaroos. You'll only see them in the zoos or when you're in the northern parts of the mission. But other than that, it's the Sydney South Mission that experiences more kangaroos and wombats than we do. It's more, westernized. There's more city and homes and things like that. There's not too many areas where it's just bush.